Now, if I've got a plan that I start some employees, I've got 45 employees, how much does it cost me for that plan, for the BOLSP? $75, okay? And I just hired 10 more employees, now I got 55 employees. What happens?
Change of plan. Update.
Got to update, pardon me, would you like to say? Well, is the cost 125 if I'm at 55 employees?
You bet.
Yes.
What happens if I don't tell the company?
No coverage, not eligible.
Well, you could find yourself in a world of hurt.
Would you want to be the consultant that tells your client you have no coverage?
You gotta have E&O.
Big time. Well, here's the company's, the home office position on this, and that is this. If you start a company with 45 employees, $75 a month. If for some reason they have a surge in hiring and they get to 55 employees, is a 1099er an employee?
No.
No. So how do we determine employees? W-2s. Everyone has to have a W-2. That's what you count. But if you go to 55, it does not negate coverage. As soon as the company finds out about it, they will start charging for it. But it does not negate coverage. You with me? So I got 55 employees. I started with 45, and I just didn't tell the company. And my agent, my Legal Shield associate agent, just didn't service me, so he has no clue. Right, Clayton? Now, let's go on a little further. I got 95 employees. I just bought a BOLSP. I just hired 10 more employees this next week. I have now 105. And Paula, you're shaking your head. Do I have coverage? You're right.
What was her answer?
No.
No.
That was her answer.
Well, I couldn't see it.
I know. Why?
Well, it's not eligible.
Not eligible. My first example, was I eligible? Yes. But I'm not eligible for this plan. Now, so yes, sir.
Does it matter how many hours the employees get, part-time, full-time,
W-2.
20, 30?
W-2. That's the beauty of this, too. We don't have to follow the guidelines of the health insurance industry as far as what is an employee, 30 hours or more, or whatever they define. So W-2, yes, ma'am.
Is it wise if somebody's close to just let them know the magic numbers?
Well, is it wise? I would say, what's that?
Use the parking.
Oh, use the parking lot. I'm getting a call for the parking lot. Everybody understand what the parking lot means? Okay.
Once you start
So where
with
you
these
going?
questions, and we're gonna get back in, we're gonna be here at 11 o'clock.
And Joe's got a date tonight, so we.
Yes.
Well,
Uh,
Don't
okay.
get very often.
I don't mind staying here till 11.
Yes.
Okay, and you're right. Thank you, Joe. Thank you. All right, next thing. Business owner solution plan. We're going to flash through things that are not relevant, but what I do want to do is build the relevant areas. Is that okay? Yep. So you guys are really equipped. Well, here's the coverages under the BOLSP. All right? And what I like to do is suggest to you from a marketing standpoint, there's a lot of talk right there. I mean, there's a lot. You could spend an hour talking on these subjects, can't you? But when you're talking to a business owner, it's bullet point, bullet point, bullet point. Unless they ask you to stay, and maybe they just need friends to stay and sit and talk to them, then you need to be well equipped with the information that is very, very important to them. So you need to know the business. Am I talking to a dentist? Or am I talking to a dog groomer? Am I talking to a restaurant? As to what is relevant, right? What's relevant? So, touch on the things that are significant. I would pick the top 3 things going, if I was talking to the dentist, I'd talk to debt collection first, and a legal consultation and legal correspondence from there. And we need to touch on the emotion of that coverage, not the fact. Can I give you an example? Okay. You might say to Captain Joe, who's got a manufacturing plant and 25 employees, Joe, just off the side here while we're talking, you ever had any issue over the last 12 years that you've been in business that kept you up at night? And you can just look right in his eyes and you'll know exactly whether he has or hasn't. Probabilities are that he has. Would you guys agree? All right. He has. And so you might ask Captain Joe this question. Since you've had issues that have kept you up late at night, has it caused you a little stress in your life? Maybe had a little difficulty at home because of it? Made you make quick decisions where you should have waited and made slower decisions? Well, Captain Joe, if you had a membership with Legal Shield, transitional statement. If you had a Legal Shield membership, you had unlimited consultation. We take that stress off of you and put it on the law firm. They're used to it.
They love it.
So find out what the pain is, make a transitional statement, and how the benefit ties in to that pain. That gives you more progress than anything else, and you can do that on any area of coverage. So consultation, legal correspondence, unlimited consultation, legal correspondence is, how many letters can we write per subject? How many?
Unlimited.
One.
Unlimited? How many, Clayton?
One per subject.
One per subject. One per subject. Now, I've heard from our law firm, and I think I've heard from you saying they might go a little further, but the bottom line is that's what the contract says. So we've got to sell what the contract says. Debt collection, how many a month? How many a month on the BOLSP? 10, okay. How many a year? Okay, on contract review, document review, and executed contracts, which they don't have there. Those three areas, how many do we do a month? Come on, Pete, I talked to you about this. Remember? Say again?
331.
331. How many pages does 331 represent, Mr. Schwartzer? 100, as we say in Chicago. 100. So I might say to that business owner when I go in, when I'm just trying to ferret out, if you will, or pull out of them their pain, find where their interest lies, I might say to them, would it be advantage to you, Mr. Business owner, be able to pick up the phone Monday through Friday and call a law firm and ask any question you have, talk as long as you want, as many times as you want, on any subject that you want, and have the power of this card in your wallet? Would that be of value to you? And he'll say yes or no. Any person that says no to that is, quite frankly, you don't want to be talking to him anyway, right? Secondarily, Mr. Business Owner, if I could review up to 100 pages of documents per month, just with this little card, for the price of a cup of coffee a day, or 1,200 pages a year, would that benefit your company? When was the last time you had a document reviewed by your attorney? How much did it cost you? What if, for the price of a cup of coffee a day, I'll review 100 pages of documents a month, 1,200 pages a year? Just that one benefit. Is that worth the price of a cup of coffee a day? Let me ask you this. In your QuickBooks, do you use QuickBooks, Captain Joe? Yeah. Yeah, I do. Or QuickBooks Pro? How much have you set aside in your QuickBooks Pro program, set aside in your balance sheet as a legal defense fund?
$49 a month.
$49 a month. And normally I get this as an answer, 0. If I could provide a legal defense fund for you so that when you go home tonight, you know very good and well if tomorrow you get served papers coming from a past employee, a past vendor, a past customer, that will defend you and provide 75 hours of pretrial and trial defense. That at $300 an hour, just for an average case, that's a $23,000 benefit. How would that make you feel if you didn't have to worry at night about where I'm going to go next? Notice the emotion? The emotion in here? Now, I've got a client in Naperville who's a steel blanking company. they flatten and stretch and all that kind of steel. He told me, before I wrote him a membership, that his company, a group plan as well, he said, Jim, I had a DUI 2 years ago. And he said, I didn't know where to go. I didn't have anybody to go to. I never had a DUI. So where did I go? Yellow Pages. The guy wanted $5,000 down. That's a retainer. 6 months later, the attorney came back to him and said, I need 3 more. 9 months into that criminal charge, they got to go to court. Now, he's paid $8,000, his first court appearance. Guess who didn't show up? Police officer. Thank you, Rena. Judge says, dismissed. How much of that $8,000 do you think was returned to my client? That happens all the time. So it's real important to bring the emotions. All I'm trying to do is bring the emotions out to the business owner. You get his or her attention, you'll feel it coming out because it's real. They have to live with us every day. They have to live with running this business every day. They have to live with the liability every day. They have to live with any employee that can turn on them just like that. Make sense? Okay, good. All right, so let's go on. Question. Mr. Manna, can you read that question, please?
A small business owner has an employee involved in a traffic accident in a company vehicle while in another state. How much of a discount, if any, can the provider law firm offer?
Anybody got an answer to that? Anybody got an answer? What?
25%?
I don't think so.
What plan does he have?
10 to 25%.
10 to 25.
Another state, that's the trigger.
Yeah.
Ah,
If we've got a VOLSP in force in Wisconsin, and we got an issue that happens outside of Wisconsin, it falls to the designated consultations, 10 to 25%. It's in the contract. It's in the contract. So read the contract, you'll see it's there. Okay? Mr. Schwartzer, can you read that, please?
An owner has a small business in Ohio with a production facility in Florida. Both locations have the same federal tax ID number. Does the Florida location have any membership benefits under the Business Owners Legal Solution Plan?
Why, Jared, or Steve?
Different state, different jurisdiction.
Well, your answer is correct. Because they're separate plans, they need separate plans if they're in different states. Now, let's back up a little bit and look at the question again and say, let's say that this business owner has 3 Subway sandwiches in the state of Wisconsin, operating under the same FEIN number, reporting his income and expenses. How many plans? One plan. People see that? One plan. Right, Steve? Al? One plan. Now, if I've got 2 Subway sandwiches in Wisconsin and 1 in Illinois, how many plans do I need? 2 in 2. 1 for the Wisconsin, 1 for the Illinois. Everybody starting to get that? Starting to see that? Okay. Well, I hate to ask Joe to read this again because he's our. But would you please?
In reference to this plan, what does contingency mean?
Mr. Steffi, can you answer that question?
That means contingent. It means if the law firm, if the attorney is handling the case on its contingency, i.e. they will take a percentage of the award if they win, it's contingent plan.
And you don't pay as you go.
What's
right?
that?
I said, and you don't pay as you go.
And you don't pay as you go.
We pay
Now,
costs.
in those, pardon me?
We pay costs.
There, I was just headed there. You beat me. Women are so smart. You ladies are so smart. Beat me to the punch. The cost of that suit will be passed on as you go. That is filing fees and copying machines and blah, 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 blah. The legal fees will be covered, as Mr. Stefke said,